The Kyler Murray and Minnesota Vikings connection has set tongues wagging across the internet. And with the Cardinals confirming they plan to release Murray, the path between the two sides just took a massive step toward becoming reality. So Kyler Murray and the Minnesota Vikings. Let's break down how we got here, what it means, and where this is heading. Who confirmed the news on Tuesday afternoon? On March 2nd, ESPN's Adam Schefter reported, citing sources, that the Arizona Cardinals informed Kyler Murray that they plan to release him on March 11th when the new league year begins, barring a trade. Now, let that sink in for a moment. We are talking about a player who was the first overall pick of the 2019 NFL Draft. Following one season of college football with the Texas A&M Aggies, Murray played for the Oklahoma Sooners, winning the Heisman Trophy in 2018. He was also selected 9th overall by the Oakland Athletics of Major League Baseball in the 2018 draft, making him the first player drafted in the first round of both sports. This is someone who, at one point, had his pick of 2 professional sports leagues, and he chose football, and the Cardinals chose him with the #1 pick. In his first season, Murray was named NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, their first appearance since 2015. In Week 14 of the 2022 season against the New England Patriots on Monday Night Football, Murray suffered a non-contact knee injury in the first quarter. He was carted off the field and did not return. The next day, an MRI revealed that Murray tore his ACL, ending his season. He was placed on injured reserve on December 14, 2022. That ACL tear marked a turning point. He entered the 2023 NFL season on the reserve, physically unable to perform list. He started the final 8 games, completing 176 of 268 pass attempts for 1,799 yards and 10 touchdowns, and averaged just 16.8 points per game, and averaged 22.4 points per game. That gap is not small. That is the difference between a bottom-tier offense and a top 10 offense. He threw for 3,851 yards and 21 touchdowns, and it was the 2025 season where things truly came undone between Murray and Arizona. Later in the year, the Cardinals opted against reactivating him, as they were in the midst of a lost season. That decision, to keep Murray sidelined even after he was healthy enough to play, sent a message to everyone in the building and around the league. That word oddly is doing a lot of work there. That contract was supposed to be the commitment that locked in the Murray era in Arizona. Instead, it became the anchor that made it harder for both sides to separate. And the ill-advised homework clause in his second contract drove a wedge that was never going to go away. It was revealed that a clause was inserted requiring him to complete a certain amount of independent film study each week. The clause was eventually removed, but the damage was done. It raised public questions about Murray's commitment and work ethic that followed him everywhere. The separation between Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals feels less like a breakup and more like an overdue reset. Injuries, roster instability, and coaching turnover dulled what was once an MVP-caliber trajectory. And now Murray has confirmed his departure on social media, sharing a goodbye message to the Cardinals organization on his personal social media accounts Tuesday. Getting released was Murray's preferred outcome from his time in Arizona, a source told ESPN. With him hitting the open market next week, Murray has 2 teams he prefers to join, the source said. 2 teams, that detail matters. And one of those teams, as we are about to get into, appears to be the Minnesota Vikings. To understand why Kyler Murray and the Vikings make sense, you first need to understand what happened in Minnesota during the 2025 season. J.J. McCarthy was selected 10th overall by the Vikings in the 2024 NFL Draft. He missed his entire 2024 rookie season due to 2 knee surgeries. Through 6 NFL games, McCarthy's career was off to a horrendous start. The Vikings went 2-4 in his starts, but even in the 2 wins, McCarthy struggled. McCarthy's percentage of on-target throws at 64.9 this season. He had only 2 games with more than 200 passing yards, and this was a quarterback playing with Justin Jefferson. Entering Week 14, Minnesota was 4-8, and in the basement of the competitive NFC North by a mile. That drop was driven by the quarterback position more than anything else, by throwing for 2 touchdowns and rushing for a third to win on the road 27-24. But then came the ankle injury in Week 2 that sidelined him for 5 games. And when he came back, it got rough. McCarthy went 12 for 19 with 87 passing yards and 2 interceptions in his first action at Lambeau Field. His on-target percentage in those games per SIS was 77.6, so there was that late season improvement. The Vikings won 4 games in a row to get to 88. It was meaningful for McCarthy's development, but not meaningful for the franchise's bottom line. Was at times so concerning that it was reasonable to suggest he should be replaced after 1 season. Executive Vice President of Football Operations, Rob Brzezinski, said Tuesday he wasn't good enough for the Minnesota Vikings in 2025 to keep the job for himself. Here is where it gets interesting. The answer is simple, and it is the single detail that makes Murray the most attractive quarterback on the market. Murray is still guaranteed $36.8 million by the Cardinals in 2026, as he will play this season under the $1.3 million minimum. Read that again. Arizona already owes Murray $36.8 million this year regardless of where he plays, because his old contract's guarantee offsets the new deal. Murray is owed $36.8 million in 2026. Unless he can find a team that's paying him more than that, he'll make that salary regardless of his contract with the next employer. Any money on the new deal will be subtracted from that sum. In his case, with 7 seasons under his belt, Murray's minimum deal is worth $1.3 million. Think about what that means for Minnesota. Minnesota could have Malik Willis for $32 million or Murray for $1 million. That is not an exaggeration. That is the actual math. You can sign a former #1 overall pick, a 2-time Pro Bowler, a Heisman Trophy winner, for $1.3 million against your salary cap. This is an anomaly. That salary negates concerns about size, scheme fit, durability, or even the infamous Call of Duty narrative. At $1.3 million, you are not betting the franchise. You are making a low-cost, high-upside move. If it works, you have a franchise quarterback for a fraction of the cost. If it does not work, you lose almost nothing, and J.J. McCarthy is still in the building. Murray has $36.8 million in fully guaranteed salary this year, and if he's on the Arizona roster on the 3rd day of the league year, another $19.5 million in 2027 salary becomes fully guaranteed. So, the Cardinals will want to move on before that happens, whether that means a trade or a release. Odds favor a release because it's unlikely a team will offer Arizona anything significant in a trade if it has to pay Murray that much guaranteed money over the next 2 years. The ESPN insiders gave Murray a 5% chance of getting traded to any NFL club. The trade market was non-existent, who struggled throwing from the pocket, so the Cardinals had no leverage. Teams ESPN talked to believe they're probably going to release him. He's got that money due mid-March to make a full guarantee that they won't want to pay. The teams are going to kind of wait that out. One of the biggest suitors for Kyler Murray has reportedly been the Minnesota Vikings, as rumors of his release from the Cardinals continue to grow. Minnesota has the cap space, the need, and the roster to make this work. And the money makes it a no-brainer for a team that does not want to give up on McCarthy long-term, but needs someone who can win games right now. The Vikings are not a team that needs to rebuild. They are a team that needs a quarterback who can operate the machine that is already in place. Minnesota finished over 500 thanks to landing 3rd in fewest yards allowed per play in 2025. Minnesota has a championship-caliber defense under Brian Flores. What it does not have is quarterback certainty. In today's NFL, certainty is everything. That is the career resume he brings to the table. Murray, at his best, stresses defenses horizontally and vertically. Pair that with Justin Jefferson, the league's most precise route technician, and you create a big problem for defensive coordinators. And it appears the connection is already forming. Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson dropped a significant hint on the team's plans at QB by following Kyler Murray on Instagram. Justin Jefferson and Kyler Murray appear to have recently followed each other on Instagram as rumors swirl around the Vikings going after the Cardinals' now former quarterback. In today's NFL, social media activity from star players is not meaningless. When a wide receiver of Jefferson's stature follows a specific quarterback who is about to hit free agency, it signals something. It signals either that conversations have happened behind the scenes. ESPN's Kevin Seifert noted, Minnesota is not necessarily looking to supplant McCarthy as a starter, but it also hasn't ruled out adding a newcomer who could walk into the building as an unquestioned starter. That puts Murray at, or near, the top of the Vikings list, even by just 1 season of playing with receiver Justin Jefferson and under-coach Kevin O'Connell. That is a significant quote. Veterans have fared well in Kevin O'Connell's offense, and will give Murray more of an opportunity to run the offense with his style of play. That matters for a quarterback who is 5'10" and needs the pocket to be clean to see over his linemen. Now, there are legitimate concerns about scheme fit and the type of quarterback he likes to have in his offense. O'Connell has been more about pocket passers who are accurate and work with what the defense gives them in coverage. Dan Orlovsky raised this point on ESPN. Orlovsky said on the March Tech edition of NFL Live, "I like Kyler Murray in Minnesota. I don't love Kyler Murray in Minnesota, and this is the reason why. Kyler Murray, in his own words, has said, 'I still want to be a playmaker.'" Orlovsky noted, "That's not really how this offense is built to be played. It's not really how Kevin O'Connell wants his quarterback to play. He wants his quarterback to be the point guard," Orlovsky added. And that is a fair concern, but it is a concern that costs $1.3 million to test. Murray has that athletic ability to move around in the pocket wherever he needs to. The counter argument is simple. Murray does not need to be a pure pocket passer to succeed in Minnesota. Everything else, the defense, the receivers, the running game, is already in place. Let's look at the full picture of the quarterback market, who continue to be heavily linked to the Minnesota Vikings this offseason. Smith is coming off a dreadful season with the Raiders, but he played well with the Seahawks before that. Smith, who is listed as 5 inches taller than Murray, would seem to be a better fit for the Vikings offense in terms of playing from the pocket. Talent-wise, no question, give me Kyler Murray over Geno Smith with where they are right now, Orlovsky said. Stylistically, I'd probably tell you, give me Geno Smith over Kyler Murray. So it comes down to raw talent versus system fit. And then there is the Tua Tagovailoa angle. Another possible release candidate, Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, might make sense, but he called Vikings defensive coordinator Brian Flores a terrible person in an interview a year and a half ago, as the pair had a frosty relationship in Miami when Flores was his head coach. That history effectively eliminates Tua from the Vikings equation. Minnesota will have other options in free agency, as they can still go after Aaron Rodgers, who was a popular name for them last offseason. Anthony Richardson has been another consideration for the Vikings. Murray is arguably the safest choice because he is still 28, with plenty of years left in him, and has won at a high level. He is not 40 like Rodgers. Murray is 28 years old with 2 Pro Bowls, a Heisman Trophy, and the athletic ability to do things that no other quarterback in this market can do, and he can be had for the veteran minimum. Murray reportedly already has a top potential destination in mind, which easily could be Minnesota. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN reported in February that every quarterback likely to hit free agency find himself on the trade block or otherwise end up available. Had the Vikings at the top of their list of destinations. It is not just that Minnesota wants Murray. Kevin O'Connell is that good. The defense is that good. What is missing is the quarterback, and Murray knows it. But there's a lot that could still change in the next week. From the moment McCarthy appeared injury-prone and inconsistent, and knowing that O'Connell faced win-now stakes in 2026, Vikings territory has repeatedly professed all roads lead to Kyler Murray. Now, the title of this video says Kyler Murray has been officially traded to the Minnesota Vikings. As of right now, that is not what has happened. What has happened is that the Cardinals have informed Murray he will be released, not traded. Arizona will release Murray next week, barring a last-minute, severely unlikely trade. He is not being traded. He is being released. That means he will be a free agent, free to sign with any team he chooses. And every signal, from the reporting, from the social media activity between Murray and Jefferson, from the roster fit, from the financial reality, from the coaching situation, points to Minnesota. But the Vikings might be the biggest combination of need and upside. For Minnesota, the brief J.J. McCarthy experiment underscored how narrow championship windows are. A roster built to contend cannot wait on development curves. Murray offers immediacy as a 28-year-old with playoff experience and something to prove. The Jets are also reportedly interested. NBC Sports' Matthew Berry said, "I really wouldn't be surprised to see him on the Jets. That's one that I keep hearing a decent amount. And the Falcons and Steelers have been mentioned as potential suitors as well. But this is not a trade. This will be Murray's decision. He gets to choose where he plays next. And all signs suggest that choice will be Minnesota. The Vikings have the roster. The Vikings have the cap space. The Vikings have Justin Jefferson. We'll see where Murray lands soon enough with free agency beginning on March 11th, but Minnesota seems like a real possibility. The question, as Kevin Seifert put it, is whether the Vikings are truly ready. It has to be a consideration. They are saying J.J. McCarthy can wait. They are saying they will not waste Justin Jefferson's prime on a development year. And at $1.3 million, they are saying all of that without any financial risk. Free agency begins on March 11th. The moment Murray is officially released, the phone lines will light up. And if history and the current reporting are any guide, the call from Minnesota will be the one Murray answers first. Whether it is a trade, a signing, or whatever you want to call it, the Kyler Murray to Minnesota Vikings pipeline is real. It is building, and it could change the trajectory of the 2026 NFL season. We will be watching. You should be too.